Folks, guess who has a list today? A list. I'm the list guy today. So, I obviously still work. I'm still stuck here in Phoenix waiting on the shop to get something done tomorrow. Probably going to be here for another day, which means I have not trimmed or shaved or been able to groom as much. I'm starting to look a little grizzly, and that's okay, you know. Maybe some women like that. I don't know. I actually don't. I like looking put together, but I don't really do that much when I'm out in truck stops and all that crap. So I shower, I clean myself, so at least there's that. What's up? So today, that cold water. Warm water does not taste as good as cold water. I don't care what anybody says. So today, I have a list. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's always an odd number. It's weird. 11 things that I'm not going to say modern men. I'm going to say men. That men want from women. So this is aimed at women. And I know a lot of men are going to watch this and relate to it and probably add to it in the comments. And that's good. Again, I don't want inflammatory comment BS in my comment section. I will just delete it. Deferring opinions, maybe advice. Remember, some advice is very unsolicited. But I don't want combative people. You know, some women might look at this video or watch this video and just assume, oh, you're a guy, shut up, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't want these things. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you, these are all very healthy things that men want from women. It's simple. I can't really I can't dumb it down any more than that, than what it is. So, number one, I know so many women for some reason have a problem with this. Number one, and it's not number one on the list in general. These are just different things. They're not in order. So let's get that out of the way. Also, I guess something else to get out of the way. Assume that I am talking about decent men. I'm not talking about fuckboys. I'm not talking about the incels that just want to use women. I'm not talking about Andrew Tate. I'm talking about decent men that want decent women, that want good relationships with women. That's what I'm talking about. So don't go down in the little comments with your little grubby hands. Oh my God, this guy is going to be... No, it's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about decent men. What decent men want from decent women. This is the list. Number one, don't at me. Looks. Of course, you want to be physically attracted to the person that you are with. Who knew? I was talking to a couple of female friends of mine from high school not too long ago about how ridiculous dating is these days. And one of them asked me, have you ever tried dating a woman not based on looks? I'm like, one, I don't just date based on looks, but of course I am dating partly based on looks. I gotta be attracted to the person. If I don't find them attractive, that doesn't mean that they're ugly. I just don't find some people attractive. I don't find Julia Roberts attractive. Everybody loves Julia Roberts. I think she looks weird. What are you gonna say? There's several women in Hollywood that everybody fawns over, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's not for me. But I'm not going to go into, what I specifically find attractive, because that's unrelated and unimportant in this video. But yes, looks are important. Now, you might be a little attracted to somebody, and then you have a conversation with them, and they have all these other qualities on this list. Suddenly, their attractiveness to you has gone up and up and up and up, because damn, they might be the perfect woman. There's ways to boost your attractiveness that aren't just looks. And those are all the things I'm going to talk about right here. So looks, yeah, I just put that one up number one up front, because I'm not going to lie, men like pretty things. It's simple. So next, agreeableness. Now, a lot of women hate hearing this because you've misinterpreted what we mean when we say agreeable. Agreeable does not mean that men are looking to dominate or tell you what to do, or, you can't do what you want. It's not about us controlling you. It's not about you not having your own autonomy and opinions. Agreeable is essentially just being pleasant to be around, not wanting to argue all the time. Because, as I've said in multiple other videos, 99% of things do not need to be an argument. Nobody likes a person that argues all the freaking time. Nobody likes it. It's stressful. Nobody wants to argue, except those people that thrive on conflict, like the one that I talked about in the previous video. But that's why she hasn't found anybody. I guarantee you, it's because men don't want to argue. We don't. Most men they get pushed into an argument, and then we're like, great, now we got to do this. Agreeable is a good thing. Agreeable is just being pleasant to be around. There are ways that you can even disagree with somebody or have a differing opinion and still be agreeable. That it's almost like an art form at this point, because most people they've lost the ability to do this and still be agreeably disagree. And I know it sounds crazy, but you can say, I don't really agree with that. I think, actually, I've got a really good example. Everybody should go watch Danica Patrick's podcast. She's a race car driver. Also a very, very beautiful woman. But in her podcast, she talks to a lot of men, a lot of red pill type men. She's conservative, so she's going to agree with a lot of things they say anyway. But when she doesn't agree on things, she doesn't go, you're wrong, that's wrong, you should change your mind. She just says, I don't really disagree with that, but I can see why you think that, or you see it this way. That's an agreeable way of disagreeing. You should just watch her channel. She's an intense person. And but the way she talks with people, even when she disagrees, she's never condescending. She's never talking down to anybody. She just says, I disagree with that, but that's fine. And she doesn't disagree with stupid things. Like some people, you could state a fact, and they will disagree with it. You can't disagree with facts. Facts are facts because they actually happened. You can disagree with opinion. That's it. All right, I'm gonna move on because that was taking too long. Next, confident. Men like confident women. Who knew? Again, I'm not talking about fuckboys, so don't get in my comments talking about men don't like confident men. No, decent men, high value men want confident women. Unless they're Andrew Tate. If you find him a high value, I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna rag on him so many times. He's gonna be all mad. Let's fight. I'm like, I don't want to fight you. I'm not a trained fighter, dude. I'm just gonna call you on your bullshit. All right, I'm gonna move on. Nemesis. Confident. Men like confident women. And I can't really talk too much about that because confidence is just confidence. Now, not arrogant. We don't want arrogant women. Arrogance is just fucking insufferable. It's insufferable. And that's what a lot of people confuse with these boss babes. Boss babes are oftentimes very arrogant because I'm a woman, I'm successful, look at me, I can do what any man can do, and they just talk down to men. They're arrogant. Arrogance is annoying. And I'm talking for anybody, not just women, men too. Arrogance is very undesirable. Nobody likes that. But confidence is magnetic. If you're a confident person, people tend to be more agreeable with you because you're confident. And confidence also is a mark of higher intelligence, maybe emotional intelligence, maybe just general intelligence. And agreeableness too. I think agreeable is also a mark of higher intelligence too. Which brings me into my next point. Intelligent. Men like intelligent women. If you got a woman on there, and I'm not saying, not everybody's blessed to be a genius. I'm not a genius. I know I'm pretty smart, but I'm no genius. So that's not exactly the type of intelligence I'm talking about. I'm talking about more like emotional intelligence. In learned types of intelligence. Emotional intelligence is learned. Relationship intelligence is learned. Sexual intelligence is learned. And not just through experience. You can get on YouTube and learn almost anything without ever having to do it. That's putting work in. That's researching and trying to become a better person. It's self-development. That's intelligence. And that's a very desirable thing for men. I guarantee you, if you're a truly intelligent woman who is confident and agreeable, and you meet a man, he's not going to be intimidated by you. He's going to be drawn to you. He will. unless he's a fuckboy. So, again, not talking about those. The little bitch babies in those comments. None of those guys came back for that one video where I called them all out. Maybe they will eventually. I don't know. So, yeah, men like confident women that are knowledgeable on what they're talking about and what they're doing. Because typically, and this will bleed over into my very last point. I've got a few points to get to before that. But typically, that'll bleed over into being a good communicator. Intelligence usually results in good communication. And that's my last point because it's so important, and I'll talk about it a little more. Next point. She actually likes him for him. She, you know, I feel like a lot of women don't really like the guy they're with. And it's, you know, maybe it's the guy's fault, but a lot of the time it might be the woman's fault for not really looking at who this guy really is. And in general, men just want to be, they want to feel like they're liked and wanted. And if a man is in an environment where he doesn't feel like he's truly wanted around, he doesn't want to be there. You know, I experienced that in both my marriage and the girl with BPD. I experienced it in heavy ways. And both times I was like, well, I really just don't want to be here because I feel like I'm useless. I feel like I'm not needed. And you know, whenever I want to do something, nobody wants to do it. You know, whenever I've got a suggestion, nobody wants to do it. I'm being emasculated. I don't want to be here. And that was something that I got myself into, and it zapped a lot of my confidence. I've gotten that back now, but men don't want to be in situations like that. Men want to actually be wanted. It's not a crazy concept. So if you're in a relationship with a man you don't like, break it the fuck off. Don't use him. Don't use him for his money. Don't take advantage of him. Don't take him for granted. If he's working his butt off and coming back and you're yelping at him and nagging all day, all night, you need to do this, you need to do that, and he's already worked 14 hours that day, he doesn't want to be around you. He doesn't. Don't be that person. Appreciate the person you're with. Actually want to be with them. And if you don't, you don't need to be in that relationship. You need to look at yourself and say, what am I doing wrong? Because oftentimes the guy's doing everything he can and he's coming back to somebody who does not like him for no reason. That's on them. That's a problem. This actually leads me into the next one. A woman that actually lets the man be helpful. That's important to men also. Men like to be useful. Men like to contribute. So if your man, you know, say something's broken in the house, and you know that your man can fix it, and if he wants to fix it, and he says, "I'll do it. I'll fix it." If you know, or even if you have some doubts, let him give it a shot. Let him try to fix it. If he can't fix it, most men are going to be like, fuck, all right, we'll get it fixed. We'll pay somebody to fix it. But most men will say, yeah, I can do that. And just let him do it. Let him be helpful. Even if you don't need it. Even if you don't need to let him do that. Let him be helpful. You know? You're trying to drag something heavy across the yard, and he catches you doing it, and he comes out and says, hey, let me get that. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him be a man. There's no reason for you to be dragging healthy crap or heavy crap across the yard, you know? And now say you asked him to do it and he didn't do it, he's a fuckboy. He's a fuckboy, and now you're doing it, and he doesn't care. That's not what I'm talking about. Again, you doing something because you didn't want to ask for help, and he sees you and says, I'll do that. You don't have to do that. Let him do it. I guarantee you, both of you will like being in that relationship more. You'll like each other more because the man feels useful and he feels like a masculine man, and you feel like you're being taken care of, and that you get more confidence in asking for help, because a lot of women have a real big problem with asking for help. Men do too, but I really sense that from women most of the time. Men, if they want help, typically they will. Unless it's directions, we like figuring that shit out on our own. Don't even try. All right, next. We're on a good pace. Intimacy. Oh no! A man wants sex. Holy shit. But guess what? Sex is not the only thing that intimacy means. A man might just want you to hold his hand, while while you're walking down the street. You went out for a walk or something. I guarantee every single man I know loves that shit when a woman just grabs his hand to walk with him. That shit feels good. It feels good. It feels like you're connected to a person. It feels good. It makes us feel good. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. When you're sitting there watching a movie, I love when I'm sitting there watching a movie, just chilling at night on the couch. I love when the woman I'm with cuddles up to me and just lays on my chest. I'll put my arm over her. That is the best shit in the world. You fuck boys in the comments, you can comment about all you want. Oh, you're a simp, you're this and that. I'm a human being and I'm a man. I like that shit. I like women. I'm not gonna say I don't. Like, what are your babies? I'll stop ragging on y'all. Y'all make y'all mad enough to start commenting again. But yeah, intimacy, man. And it is, of course it's sex. And of course it's being able to talk about sex. If something isn't working for you, talk about it. If I see so many comments online from women about how men don't know how to give orgasms. Look, maybe that man hasn't researched. Maybe they're just not like me. I will learn everything I need to learn. We'll say that much. And I will ask what I should do if something isn't working. The thing is, a lot of women won't just speak up. If you're with a man and he's not giving you orgasms, then you just have a talk with him. Tell him what works. If he's not a fuckboy, he's going to listen. And he's going to go along with it. He's going to try it. And I guarantee you, you will be better off. And it might be something that would save your freaking marriage if that's a big problem. Because I know women who have left their husbands because they were terrible in bed. But sometimes it's not even men's fault. It's not even the man's fault. A lot of women will fake things in the bedroom and then blame it on the man. Like, if you're faking it, you're not helping either of you. You got to get to a point where it doesn't need to be faked. And that means conversations. Again, down to communication. That's my last point. But we'll just move on. Independence. Men, decent men, like independent women. We do. We're not intimidated by you. We don't like insufferable. So remember, if you're a very disagreeable person, you're condescending, you're arrogant, you are an insufferable person. A lot of women are confusing insufferable with maybe independent or, strong and independent woman. Men like strong, independent women. We don't like insufferable women. So don't be insufferable. Be independent. By that I mean, now, that doesn't mean you have to have your own job. Some men are completely fine providing for you. Obviously, that's okay. I don't mean by like work. Now, yeah, if you have a career and your own money, good. You're even more independent. And that's kind of what I'm more attracted to, is somebody that can take care of themselves if needed. Because maybe if something were to happen to me, I'm in a long-term relationship and we're living together, maybe I get hurt on the job. Men tend to get hurt more on the job because we have more dangerous jobs. What if I get hurt and I can't work? Now I've got a woman who can pick up that slack. That's a good thing to have. But that's not the only thing I mean. I mean emotional independence. A lot of women don't have hobbies. I've talked about this before, and they get dependent on their man's hobbies. And suddenly it becomes a little bit of a toxic relationship because now that woman doesn't want that man to do anything without her. She doesn't have friends. She doesn't want to go out with her friends. Again, fuckboys will say you can't hang out with your friends. No, you should let women hang out with their friends. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, you women, if you're hanging out with your friends, don't cheat. Don't be going out girls' nights to the clubs and bars and dancing with all these men. If you're hanging out with your friends, you go home, or you have a girls' night at home. You have a girls' night where you all go to a restaurant and have some fun and eating and talking and just doing girl stuff. I don't know what you do, and we don't need to know. As long as you're being faithful. And that's a good point I could put in here, but I guess faithful should go without saying, right? But yeah, be independent. Be independent. A decent man is going to let you be independent, but also, again, he wants to be wanted. He wants you to spend time with him and be intimate, but he also wants independence. So, a woman with a brain's going to understand what I mean by that. Respectful. Men like respectful women. Now, I am of the camp that respect is not earned. I don't think people should have to earn your respect. I think as an adult, as a decent person, you should be respectful to everyone that you run across. Everyone. Everybody. Until they've done something that deems them not as respectable. Respectable. Is that a word? Obviously, somebody that cheated on you, that's not respectable. They don't deserve that respect anymore. Somebody that abuses you, they don't deserve that respect anymore. But if a man's doing everything he can, especially if you just met this guy, be respectful. There's no reason to assume that just because he's a man that he's a problem. Most men are actually just really good men. They're just trying their hardest. They're working their asses off. They want to provide, and even if they can't fully provide, they at least want to contribute and provide and be useful in some ways. And they're just being good men. They're being good people. They're nice to you, and they want to listen to you, and they want to be part of your life, and they want you to compliment their life. That's a very respectable thing. I think you should respect anybody upon meeting them and you don't know them. And I think you should respect anybody as long as they haven't done anything wrong. And that's most people. If you lose respect for somebody and they've never done anything to deserve that, you are the problem. So men want respectable women. They want to be respected. You know, when a man says, I don't want to do that, and he's trying to set boundaries, you know, maybe you're the type of woman that says, we have to listen to Taylor Swift. You got to sing along in the car. Men don't want to do that. That's us setting a boundary. Like, her music's not for us. We don't really care. Most men are just like, no, I don't want to hear Taylor Swift. Like, now, a man that cares is going to do that every once in a while. Yeah, let's sing along. Let's do Taylor Swift. But, like, good God, he doesn't want to do that all the time. I'm guaranteeing you right now, a man doesn't want to do that. And I'm only using this as one little stupid example. But this is a whole video I'll do eventually. But, like, a man doesn't want to become a male girlfriend. They just don't. They want to be a man. Let him be a man and respect him as a man. There's entire videos on YouTube you can find about that. Maybe I'll do one too. How to respect a man, you know, in a healthy way. Let's move on. Second to last one, penultimate, the big word of the day, appreciative. Good God, men want to be appreciated. That's it, bar none. You know, that's one of the biggest ones. Men want to be appreciated. There's a lot that most men bring to the table, you know. And I know a lot of women are gonna hate me saying this, but I see it online all the time. Let's say a woman. I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent. I think y'all need to hear it though. I'll see posts every once in a while that says it doesn't take a man more than 1 to 2 years to know if he wants to marry you or not. And in most ways I believe that's true, but also women rushing men into relationships is partly why freaking relationships fall apart in the first place. And a lot of women, for some reason, completely disregard all the things that men bring to the table. We bring that money. We're providers. We're protectors. We will bend over backwards to do whatever you need us to do most of the time. You know, a lot of men don't even set boundaries. We just do. We give. And that's what society is expected of us. Men are disposable and women are always protected. That's just how it's always been. And women, for some reason, just completely disregard that and think that they bring everything to the table. They think they're completely entitled to everything. When most women, and I staunchly believe this, most women, the only thing they offer men is sex. Most women, 90% of women. Now, I might be wrong. I don't know if there's a certain statistic on this, but it's been the case with people I've dated. And it has been the case with most of what I've seen online, is most women only have sex to offer. Because you'll see that thing that says, you know, it doesn't take him 1 to 2 years to decide if he wants marriage. I saw one woman comment on there that says, well, if you take sex away, he'll learn. You've just admitted that you only have sex to offer. And the thing is, a decent man can get sex from most women he meets without having to marry them. So you can play that game all you want, but I think a lot of women need to realize that the only thing they have to offer really is the same thing that every other woman offers. And Yeah, same thing with men. The thing that most men have to offer, which is money, is the same thing a lot of other men have to offer. So you take money off the table, 90% of men have nothing to offer. That's why you be a masculine man who can provide that money if needed, but also be an emotionally mature man. Everything that I've listed here, you should be as a man as well. You need to be able to offer that. But if you're offering all of that, and a woman comes in and says, that's when they start to use that sex as currency thing. It's because that's the only thing they have to offer. They've been taught that that's the only thing they need to offer. But they need to offer all these other things. Boom. That was a big tangent on accident, but it really came down to being appreciative of what each other has to offer. And if that man's bringing all these things to the table and being a provider, being a protector, working his ass off to make sure that everybody's taken care of, and still coming home. And when I was in my relationships, I would still cook. I came home from work after 12, 13 hours a day. I would still cook for both of us. While this chick was putting her son in the bath, getting him in bed, I would pick up all the toys he left around. I would clean up a little bit. I'd fold the clothes for the laundry she did that day, and I would cook for us. Those are the things I did. I did everything that I could do. I did everything I could do, and it was not appreciated. It was not appreciated, and that weighs down on a man harder than pretty much anything else. It sucks to not be appreciated when you're putting in a lot of work. Lastly, is men want a woman to be a good communicator. This is 90% of the time why I will stop talking to a woman. Because they don't know how to have a conversation. They don't know how to have a mature conversation. When they get offended by something that they probably didn't even need to get offended by, they won't ask you what you mean. They'll just assume the worst. And they'll get mad and they'll yell at you. Now, this doesn't happen often. I'm only saying this has only happened like maybe a couple times. But men want women they can talk to. A decent man wants a woman he can talk to. Just like I see, like, I'm not on dating profiles now, but like used to, I'd be on these profiles, and every time I would see a profile from a woman that said, "I'm a sucker for deep conversations." That almost unanimously meant that they don't know how to have a deep conversation. They'll give you these like short replies and whatnot. They just don't. They suck at communicating, for one. A lot of them are also really bad at communicating their wants and what they want from you. Some of them are bad at communicating what they want to themselves. They don't even know. But men want women who are able to articulate their wants and needs in a proper way. And once they tell that man what they want and need, if that man does what they want and need, as long as it's not, overstepping a boundary of his, then boom, that, if you have all these qualities, you can communicate, you're appreciative, respectful, independent, you're intimate, you let him be helpful, you actually like him and aren't using him for his qualities and his hard work, you're intelligent, confident, agreeable, and you look pretty. And you're pretty. You are the dream woman if you do all these things. You are that woman that will never have a problem finding a good man. And also, this all goes the same way for men. If you are a man and you have all those qualities, you won't have a problem finding a good woman. I'm a picky person. I guess you'll have a problem. The thing is, a woman with all those qualities can find a man super fast. A man with all those qualities has trouble finding a woman because he becomes picky. And I know this might be the same for women too, but a man has trouble finding a woman like that now because he'll look at all this and be like, well, shit, man. So many women have not been raised to have those qualities. They don't think they need to put in the work. I had to put in work to have all those qualities. I really did. But a lot of women are raised from young ages to believe that they don't need to do this. They don't need to be able to offer more. And that's the thing. You do need to be able to offer more than just sex. You have to. You have to. Or you're not going to find a decent man in this day and age, in 2025. Men want more out of women. They can get sex from almost any woman if they really need to without marrying them. They can go get a prostitute. I'm not going to do that. but men will do it because they don't have to deal with all the other crap and you being non-appreciative and judgmental and mean. Be nice. All right, I need to stop. That's the video for today. You know, that many things, that's what men want. Yeah, have a good one.